Interesting.
I mean, I just go towards the Jinx again here.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, for Rare Adam, now the question is, what do you try and answer with in this bot lane? Because we saw the Aphelios not really work out, but looks like they're thinking, hey, look, if we can just get the Nautilus in this equation, maybe that's the game plan. So, could be a Nautilus Aphelios pick up here if they really want to for iBoy. I don't even know. Like, I mean,
the Rex size open, but he doesn't go for it.
One of the things that we've seen kind of come through in other regions is like the Varus answer into it. At the start of the meta, we started to see Jhin come into play as well, where you try and match the range, and you've got good push in. Maybe that's something that you want to try for look for here, but I'm not really sure what the answer is going to be for Rare Adam. For LGD, I mean, Presh I think would be a wonderful addition to this lineup right now, especially with the Nautilus, right? And Shadow going back towards the Viego. This is something that he's been really comfortable taking into the Zhao matchup, and now going for that much later scaling option here on LGD's side.
Yeah, I mean, at least going off of recency bias on game number 1, I think that's fine. I still am a little worried about the early proactivity, but if we get a game just like game number 1, where both junglers kind of staying opposite sides of the map from each other, staying away from each other as long as you can, then this works out for Shadow. They also lock in the Leona, as they take that one away since their support was taken by RA, and Aphelios, your favorite, picked up yet again for RA.
Yeah, so definitely from LGD's side in like the 2v2 and bot lane, you're going to win out substantially. Range advantage for Jinx. Leona stronger than the Nautilus in the lane matchup as well. Like, Nautilus can survive because you can kite back, but not winning like outright the matchup. The big difference maker is going to be the jungles here. Like, because you've got that point and click CC for the Nautilus, it makes it a hell of a lot easier for Leyan to try and get into that bot side. That's why I was kind of looking for the Thresh, because you can always like dark passage the Jinx out after the depth charge is hit, but not going to be the case this time. So Eric will have to be very safe. Top laners banned away though. Camille taken off the board. Gwen gone as well. Maybe we see another Graves ban angled towards Cube on that top side just because of how strong it's been. But at least for Rare Adam, right, with like the Twist of Fate banned away, maybe Strive is trying to eye up something like the Rise. Sorry, well, not the Rise. The something that can have a little bit more like team fight orientated pressure in this mid lane. When you look towards something like the Orianna again, or even if he wants to go over towards something like the Zoe or the Viktor that we've seen in the past.
And there's an obvious focus from LGD in the second phase of bans here, as the Gwen banned just like in game number 1, but Graves joins the ban table here, making sure that Cube does not have the same tools last time, does not have that split push going for him, at least on that champion. Obviously still the Trendemeers and stuff like you had mentioned available, but the hover and lock-in is the Jayce for Cube.
Okay, so we have to see what Fearness wants to try and answer for. Now we might get to see the Tryndamere come true. Rather than against the Graves, they're just like, hey, look, we can actually just take this on the opposite side. We've also seen like things like the Kali go into this Jayce on the top side. So there's still a lot available here for Fearness in the top lane. Jay looks like he's just going to go back towards the tried and true, the Viktor in the mid lane. I mean, nothing really to say, right? Like, strong late game, good team laning, and reasonable skirmish on the side.
I wanted spice, Dagda. I wanted spice. All right.
I mean, we'll wait for the top lane. You can't have too much spice.
I mean, I feel like for Jay.
Oh god. Oh no. I was going to say, I feel like we're getting something spicy in the top lane. It's like, oh no.
Yep. All right. Well, we exactly know what LGD's goal is here. Now that they've locked in the Ornn for the top lane, it is scaling, it is team fighting, and it is winning the second game.
Yeah. LGD. Late game, damn it. We're gonna just go for that full late game scaling. Like, everything on this side just screams, we want to fight. We want to try and play towards that late game. The only problem that I'm seeing though, right, is like, you're gonna end up with the counter pick in the mid lane, right? So push in theory for Strive, push for Cube in the top lane. So there's always the opportunity now for the end to be a bit of a nuisance on this top half of the map, like look for invade, set Shadow behind, and try and play through the fact you've got these like strong solo laners. The answer for Shadow would be to try and play around this bot side, right? Like, Eric and JinJiao should still have push, and I'd love to see Shadow try and use the fact that Eric and JinJiao have push to get vision control on this bot side, so Eric can continue to push in, because as we already said, I mean, while Leyan can play around the top side off 2 solo laners, the CC for ganks is in that bottom lane.
It is, and the CC is going to be the name of the game. We saw last time around the shot calling from the dredge lines on the Nautilus, super huge. We'll see if on the other side of the table we can also get that from Yuyanjia. But we have our team comps. We don't have the serious, at least Graves in this one, but we do have Cubes, Jayce, and both teams have very particular things they're going for in this one. You still have a little bit of the split pushing available for Rare Adam, but opting more into that team fight here with a little bit more CC on the Nautilus. And on the other side, it's just doubling down on the composition for LGD as they get the Viego for Shadow. They get a lot of those scaling options, and we get to see the Ornn for Fearness. This matchup is going to be huge. I'm just excited because I want to go to 3 games, Dagda, and I want Rare Adam to push us there. It's going to be a tall task, though, because LGD have definitely gotten themselves the tools of the trade and coming off a very confident game number 1 as well.
Yeah, I think for Rare Adam, the best way to try and fight against LGD, just because you don't have that same late game team fight to you, is trying to play through Cube on this top side, right? One of the things about Ornn is obviously great team fights, but Cube, because he's got that range advantage, is actually capable of playing through a 1-4 situation and try and work as just a straight up split pusher. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like an early Shroudless Grudge come through, or even actually some sort of Last Whisper, other Last Whisper item come through from, just so we can try and fight against Ornn on the side, try and push through that. So I'd expect Leyan to try to start bot side here and look for some early plays towards Fearness before the full tankiness of this Ornn comes into play.
Well, as we come onto the Rift, we'll see if we go the distance or if LGD close us out quickly with a 2-0. RA looking for some spice in the early game. They're actually going to come around the corner here, but Eric gets popped by the command attack. Oh my god, he's going to stay. Okay. Yuyanjia doesn't have the angles. Gotta be really careful with the dredge line. Not going to connect onto Eric.
Not quite able to. Looking back at this top side, though, Cube opting in towards the first strike. I really like this. The Fearness is going to get insanely tanky, right? Ornn, no doubt about it. But actually being able to, 1, have a little bit of extra damage come through from first strike, and 2, that extra gold that you should pretty easily be able to proc his Cube here, means that you can start to get a ton of extra items into your back pocket and kind of beat the race that Ornn is trying to do to get towards that late game while Cube isn't able to do damage.
I will say, checking back on this bit latest drive, wants a little revenge, I feel like, from that last game. Not against the Rise this time, but against the Viktor. We'll see a little bit of that heavy trading going on. I will say a lot of similarity from that first game is the fact that we do get opposite side starts from these junglers. And again, opting into the potential of staying away from keeping the ships in the night separate.
Yeah, I mean, for Shadow, again, this is your best bet. You don't win out on the early skirmish. We kind of talked about at the start of the day. JinJiao, the reason why he's picked is he just beats so many people at the early stage of the game. So the only person I think that really kind of does well against him is an Ornn who can clear faster and look for an invade. So again, going to be totally fine here, just clearing up towards that top side. We said, look, the potential here to try and play around Cube. And Cube going to try and see if he can crash this early wave. Should bounce back, which at least means that the wave can be set in the middle. So you have an opportunity for Leyan to try and look for a gank. If Cube isn't going to push in, to go for some sort of dive.
Yeah, pushing spots after LG. RA. I was going to see if the level 2 ops into any fights for the bot lane. Yuyanjia, but not going to be so. And that does mean, the first action is definitely going to come from these junglers if we don't get any shenanigans in the lanes. But I feel like, that being said, Leyan is much more set up this time around to be there to facilitate those early shots.
Yeah, and I think, the last matchup that we had was the Lee Sin versus JinJiao. So if Shadow was able to kind of avoid Leyan, he could set up his own plays. A little bit more difficult on the Viego, but you've got a ton of CC in your lane, right? Fearness able to set you up. JinJiao on that bot side, we talked about the winning 2v2 for Eric and JinJiao. So if you can play towards that, you can actually be relatively okay. And it looks like that's at least what Shadow has in mind, right? Try and play down towards the bot side. Set up Eric once more to be that massive carry.
And that's the big difference, I feel like, as well. There's not that volatility in the top side as much as there was in that first game, right? Where you had Fearness just getting beaten down by Cube all the time. Now, you can feel a little bit more confident to leave Fearness up there, have him go into later fights. Although we see a fight in bot lane, iBoy about half health. Does not get any of the summoner spells from LGD. Thought maybe JinJiao was going to burn the Ignite. Both teams staying calm and steady, at least in the bot lane. You typically see the summoner spells burn pretty early.
It does give a good back here for Eric, though, right? We'll probably see the quick pull come through alongside, like, probably the longsword and the dagger. Actually, just going to go towards the boots. So, I mean, from Eric's perspective, right, Yuyanjia get to move back down, should be able to pick up the wave. And so, again, like, Eric and JinJiao trying to play around this push that they have in the bot lane, which can, especially with the resets coming through from iBoy now.
Well, you know, I thought you could be fine leaving him on the top side. Nope, turns out you can't. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And the top side, Shadow shows his face at the last moment.
Yeah, and I mean, look, nice decision making from Cube, right? Spots out the fact that Shadow's coming up onto this top side, so fully commits onto Fearness to get the kill. Just trade the 1-for-1, but that wave now has to be TP'd onto Fearness to try and pick that up, whereas Cube can actually just walk back to lane and hold on to that TP. So nicely done here for the top laner of Rare Adam. Once more, getting the advantage in this top side matchup.
Is what we'll see on the bottom side, though. RA respond with a dragon start of their own right at that 5-minute mark. The first dragon going over to RA.
Yeah, just kind of thinking, look, Cube has his TP. Can't, obviously, because the teleport changes TP to ward, but if they actually try and contest, here's LGD.
Oh
sorry,
my
Leyan
God.
left it at 1. If LGD tried to fully contest, he can always, like, TP to a tower and then, like, run in, especially with, you know, the move speed that you get and the acceleration gate. You can pretty quickly get into fights as the Jayce, but anyway, moving on. Rare Adam, at least with that top side advantage that we wanted to see. No jungle pressure needed thus far, so maybe now Leyan with no flash on Fearness, and if Cube could potentially freeze the wave here, could look for a gank. You can see Shadows going right. I can't go for my bot side camps.
Ooh.
I need to try and protect Fearness on this.
He's not spotted either, and Fearness, now he knows he's here. The Ornn popped, will be flashed away from Leyan.
Really nice pathing from Shadow there. I know that they don't get the kill, but the fact that Shadow realized that Fearness was in trouble and is there to stop the play alongside getting the flash from Leyan, really nice job from Shadow. And this is why we look at Shadow from LGD, right? Like, he actually has been crucial to them in so many situations, not only offensively, but as you can see there, on the defensive plays as well.
I see the brain on this guy, and it blows my mind every time. So the unique pathing you see him take, especially last year when he was having a little bit more of that aggressive confidence, it's incredible. And you see why this guy made his name known on Mad Lions, why he was able to come into LGD and be one of the star players of the team.
He got spotted though, Mazel.
Sad.
It's so sad.
It was
Cube
a caster
knows that he's
curse.
here.
It was his caster curse for sure.
Yeah. So you can see just with that strive kind of moving up river as well, just leaning topside in case something happens. Cube though, is he gonna
Oh
break?
my God, he's stuck in back.
I mean, he's keeping Shadow interested, right? Like,
He is. Oh no.
yeah. Like, Cube knows he's in the bush, and he's actually doing a really good job of keeping him here. This is so much time wasted by Shadow.
Like, I want to go. I hit 6. I have Heartbreaker. I want to go. Okay, I'm just going to back now. Okay, it finally gets completed. Shadow will get the reset off and head back towards this top side of the map.
With that, though, iBoy managing to get this shove on bot side just off of the reset from Eric. Does a pretty good job. Haven't actually seen the turn back, though, from Eric. And, like, some of these resets from Eric have been a bit dubious. Like, just kind of going back a little bit too early, not really respecting the push from Rare Adam. And especially now that you've got Shadow, like, going back up towards his top side. Like, Rare Adam are just fully fine to keep shoving in the bot side. We haven't really seen Shadow been able to have any sort of pressure down towards the bot lane. So, honestly, the iBoy Yuyanjia lane is actually going relatively okay for them.
And I wanted to do a check-in because one of the key features of game number 1 was the roaming of the bot lanes. Not only the supports, but also the ADs. And something that I would like to see going into the second game is more of that. Oh no, the level 6 is completed, but not for JinJiao. This is some trouble. LGD, the flashes are coming away. Eric putting it back. Mega Death Rocket misses, but the fishbone still firing away. iBoy gets away with a flash.
Yeah, level 6 was hit by Eric, and when he started to take those terror shots, I knew exactly what way that was going to go. Forced to burn his flash, so when you look at the summoner spells, right, heal on, or sorry, the flash on iBoy, Eric, and JinJiao all burnt, ignite burnt by Yuyanjia, but the rest of those summoner spells still stay intact, so relatively even fight all said and done. We'll have to just see if either jungler is able to utilize the fact that those summoner spells of the flashes are burnt on both AD carries.
Speaking of junglers utilizing stuff, Strive helping out his jungler, using that priority in mid lane to start up the Rift Herald, I believe, as Kings were coming down to the pit. But it's Shadow right here, ready to go if need be, and he dodges out from the dredge line as RA just looks to secure some more vision, some more control around this top river.
Strive has push in mid though. Strive's actually been doing a really good job in this mid lane matchup this time around. Like getting that big CS advantage for himself and just having full control. So you can see there, Rare Adam able to establish themselves in river first. Still though, LGD with Fearness having push on top, feel like they can take this, but Fearness no mana. This is risky.
This is real risky. The Ornn coming down, but RA are outmanned. There's just no chance. The Heartbreakers are coming down. The shock blast from the side was huge from Cube, and the health bars from LGD are just non-existent right now. They need to be careful. Strive could come through. He's already utilized the shockwave, but here comes Cube. We'll see the Rift Herald go down. Not sure. I believe it was LGD who were able to get it, but they can't get the eye because the pressure is too much from RA.
Still though, they take the fight, they get the kill. Nobody will get the Rift Herald in the end, and honestly, that's kind of all right for Rare Adam, right? Like, for LGD, you'll take the fact that, like, from Rare Adam's side, we want to see them play through side lanes. We wanted to see them set up Cube even more. If Rare Adam aren't the ones that are able to get the Rift Herald, that's your key takeaway here for LGD. Cube, though, will get some good amount of tower damage on this top side, as Fearness doesn't have his TP to get back to the lane. So, Cube still getting a decent amount of gold off the play, just with Fearness needing to reset.
And the topside matchup has been very volatile, more so than I thought it was going to be, at least, because I was like, all right, Fearness on a tank, you know, we'll leave him on the island up there, no big deal. But it has been a lot of focus out there because of the objective taking and because of the increased priority on objectives. Last game, it was a lot more of a slow roll when it came to Dragon, but this time, RA are stacking them up quickly.
And it's a good game plan from Rare Adam, right? Like you say, when you want to open up the map for a Cube, the best way to do that is like get yourselves to a third dragon, because now Fearness feels the pressure to like, hey, if we are going to fight for this objective, I want to be there early. I want to be established in that river with LGD. Whereas for Rare Adam, they're like, cool, we can then like kind of hands off the dragons, go, we don't care. Cloud dragons, we're not that worried about you picking up some of them LGD. So Rare Adam instead will try and just continue to play through the main man Cube in the side lane.
Getting another attempt on the top side for Shadow. He won't be spotted this time, Dagda. He's sneaky. He starts up the back. Just PTSD. Cube goes in, has the flash immediately. That will be a return gank, no doubt, coming at some point soon.
I mean, it's great and all that, like, Fearness is getting this pressure, because, yes, they're trying to shut down Cube, but the fact that they're not really getting anything from us, and the rest of Rare Adam are still managing to make plays, is a little bit, like, worrying. You can see, like, just 1,000 gold lead for Rare Adam at the moment, and maybe more when Fearness moves up here. But looks like Leyan just going to reset.
Cheeky little reset there. Fearness not falling for the bait just yet. We'll have the redeploys coming out from LGD onto the bot side of that map, though, because Shadow not having too much to go for at the moment. Looking at Tracer's bot side or mid to get something going for himself, as sitting on the one kill. Not exactly the snowball he start using for LGD.
So, I'm actually not a big fan of Strive's build right now.
Okay.
Going towards the Luden's Tempest. Sorry to, like, completely sideline.
No, I like it. Big brainness coming out here.
So, I feel like the Leandri's Anguish would have done a lot more with how tanky the front line for LGD is, and a lot of the times... Ooh, hang on.
Wait, Shadow? He just went for that. He didn't even get the blue, and he just dies. Okay, well...
So, the Leandri's Anguish is going to do pretty well against the front line that LGD have. And honestly, is Strive, I don't feel like you're going to get a huge amount of time with the range that LGD have to like try and hit onto the back line and burst someone out. So I feel like the Leandri's Anguish probably would have done more here, but if he's able to get that like one-shot potential on towards Jay and Eric, maybe it'll be worth it. I just feel like you're probably not going to have access to the back line.
And after that catch out from Leyan, they take the advantage and keep up the tempo there. I mean, he's already got like a 30 CS differential against Shadow in the jungle, but they know to press their advantages when they can. And Leyan goes straight for the invade onto the rafters. They would take that one. And I guess the biggest question is like, how does that happen? And for me, it's the question of, do RA have enough to hold on here and kind of scale up with LGD Dagda? Because yes, LGD might be giving up some of these early crazy things, maybe Shadow overextending a little bit, but they still have that scaling factor for them that we highlighted in the draft.
It just feels like these team fights are going to be impossible for Rare Adam to operate, right?
Yeah.
Like, you try to move forward as iBoy. All right, JinJiao's in your face. He's got 3 different CC abilities. You've then got Fearness, who's able to get the Call of the Forge God. He plants that little pillar in front of you, and you can't, like, you're completely zoned out of the fight. And that's not even talking about the fact that you still have Jay with the W as well, the gravity field to zone you out of the fight as well. Like, there's so much that keep not only iBoy but Strive out of the equation as well. It just feels impossible to actually take these fights. That's why I think, like, from Rare Adam's side, it's like trying to play through sides is your best bet, but they may not get the opportunity to, right? Like, you may be forced to just go, right, we have to fight, especially things like Baron and that. LGD have really good opportunities to just face check rushes where Fearness just walks in, JinJiao even to a certain extent can try and tank up some of that.
Shadow just really wants to kill Q. That's all I'm seeing right now. It's like 3 times in a row he's come up here. It's like, maybe there's not going to be anything, but I'm going to go up there anyway. Just in case.
Well, Dragon number 3 about to spawn in 30 seconds, and LGD not really in a position to try and contest right now. Fearness has reset, but look at the amount of vision control Rare Adam have established. And over into JinJiao.
Shadow right around the corner as well. Tribe is here. Shockwave available. Solar Flare comes down. JinJiao caught out and dead. The wind becomes lightning, and JinJiao becomes dead himself. Red buff is under fire here. Jay around the side here with Chaos Storm as well. Leyan goes down. The Heartbreaker is there. The resets. And this is the problem when you go into a fight against this team for LGD. You have no hope. They are decimating RA. And on top of it all, iBoy misses the flash. That's the cherry on top.
Oh my god, it's 4 kills for 1. JinJiao gives his life for the cause.
Cube has to do something. Cube is feeling desperate up here, and Jay makes it out alive.
Accelerate Shock Blast. Cube trying to see if maybe he can fish it out, but Jay does the little rope it up and gets out. Dragon goes away of LGD. And I mean, look, you said it in that call, Mazel. How do you try and fight this as Rare Adam, right? You get 1 pick onto JinJiao, and then the rest of LGD able to collapse so well. You get the TP from Fearness towards the fight, so then you can actually take it. And Jay, as that fight ends, is able to rotate back up towards that top side. Leyan now trying to see if he can play towards Cube with the resets coming through from LGD to get this Rift Herald as top tower falls down.
RA able to scoop up something back for themselves and the Rift Herald on top of it. So not all done and dusted yet. That was definitely a one-sided fight, but it was something that RA just got kind of caught into. That's something that I wanted to highlight. Oh my god, Eric has gotten so close every single time. That's something I wanted to highlight before I just got distracted. And going into this replay is RA need to find these kinds of advantages, but this one a little bit too much.
But it's played towards your strengths, right? Like, your strong side of the map here is that top side, as Drive just gets
don't see anything here. I don't know what you're talking about, Dagda. There was nothing that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was just dead. But yeah, the problem with Rare Adam is, like, so whenever you're in these kind of, like, situations come to mid-game, right? Whatever the original idea of your composition is may not be your strong point of the map, which you've always got to kind of adapt to go, hey, where is the point of the map that if things go awry, like, if we end up not having the numbers advantage that we expected, that we can still win out. And for Rare Adam, that is the top side, right? Like, you've 2.5 items already completed for Cube. Cube is massive. Like, first strike gold, the Terror gold, the CS, like, everything is going right for Cube. So for Rare Adam, it's like, if you want to go for invade onto top side. Cube can shove in a wave, you go and look for your invade, then you should have the numbers advantage. If you don't, in a 2v2 or a 3v3, you should be relatively alright because of Cube's advantage. But we're not seeing that. Instead, Leon's trying to play bot side, and then LGD catch him.
Yep, Leyan walked around that corner like, oh no, I gotta go. And he's not gonna make it out just yet. The crescent guard doing some work, but he's all by himself. Big shockwave from Strive over the wall, but it did matter actually. Shadow went down and the rest of LGD walk away. Grabbing him is there, and the dredge like, oh my god, it's a calamity of errors here. And iBoy kills Jay.
And just like we talked about, right? Like, for Rare Adam, play towards Cube. Even if things go right and the rest of LGD show up, they still win the 3v3 because of Cube's insane advantage. Now, they're looking for the play in mid as well. As
oh my god!
There you go. You want a proof of Cube being fairly large at this stage? Or there you go. Look at that.
Yep, 2.5 items compared to 2.5 items. The difference is it's a top laner versus an ADC.
And this is what I mean, right? So you think, right, it's 2v3, but Leyan is able to survive for so long.
That
Cube has a
shockwave.
ton of damage. Really nice job from Cube to read the shockwave as well. Must have just spotted the ball coming over the wall with the command to protect. And then Jay, trying to move down to this bottom side, gets spotted out by the rest of Rare Adam. And they just obliterate him. Like 3 members on this top side because Ornn are able to fight the 3v2 on the bottom side of the fight.
So this is what I wanted to highlight before we got into all this craziness, is the fact that RA, they have a very specific way that they can win these fights, and it's by catching LGD off kilter, off stability, right? And making sure to not have them set up for these fights, because we've already talked about the 5v5. LGD, their composition, redonkulous. Like, they are scaling so hard. But if you can catch out one at a time, if you can catch them not set up in that front to back 5v5, that's where RA can succeed.
LGD though, because they have that first dragon now, can actually try and like push in mid here and look for it. Cube wasn't set up in the side lane, so now Rare Adam have to go against the big team fight of LGD. And the accelerate shock blast, I was about to say, needs to land onto Eric, on towards Jay, so Rare Adam can fight them back, but that's it from Cube. Great accelerated shock blast to find the damage onto Eric.
Scaling ain't gonna help you just yet. As Eric definitely feeling the hurt from that Jayce, but it's all about buying time for LGD. And you can definitely feel the anxiety, at least on RA's side, right? They're constantly looking for these picks. They're constantly looking for this damage.
And you can see that they're very aware of like where the damage on Rare Adam is, right? Like Fearness has gone for not only the chem tech, but the chem tank, sorry, but the random and omen as well, right? Like as much armor as possible, try and stop the crits coming through from iBoy, but having a bit of a slow as well for everyone who jumps on. So kind of adding a further layer of CC for Fearness as now with Dragon up, LGD trying to contest mid priority, see if they can get that tower as Rare Adam are looking to get that Dragon.
And I will say on RA's side, iBoy has the Lord Doms completed now. So this tanky front line, not going to be as tanky, right? You're still waiting on the 3 items for iBoy to really be putting in that work, but still helps to that extent. And the rush of the second item is definitely a good one. We did see the 3rd dragon of the game go over to RA, at least. And so they're 1 away from Soul.
LGD trying to trade it for mid-party and also this top vision. If you end up face checking on Rare Adam's side again, not really any big true tank. So for LGD, they're like, look, we don't feel comfortable moving into this position where Cube can try and get these accelerated shot blasts onto key members. If maybe Rare Adam can win the fight that way. So instead, they just trade it for pressure. Eric, though, I'm not sure how he ended up there alone, but Rare Adam very quickly chased him out of the jungle.
I mean, good call from Eric to immediately get forced away from that one. It's like, nope. I am way too far. As a Jinx, but it's still very, very terrifying as RA actually keeping the push going strong in the mid lane. Have 4 bodies hovering around here, but not able to get the siege down on the 2nd tier tower.
Yeah, buying space though for Cube on this top side, right? Like we talked about the 1-4 split push. Well, Rare Adam, they got vision control now in this top side jungle, and it means that anyone who goes up against the top, oh, hang on.
He immediately called that. That was coming out if you like it or not. Eric hit by the Moonlight Vigil. Shockwave comes away and JinJiao's just dead. Pressing guard was utilized as well, but a beautiful pick from RA and buying into their win condition.
Yeah, great job to just make that pick happen. You're buying enough time now in the mid to get pressure on top for Cube. LGD can't really push up here. Like, they're trying to just threaten the vision on Baron if Rare Adam are trying to start it, but Rare Adam are just perfectly happy to keep this push going topside because Jay's in this mid lane. Like, no one's on topside.
And that whole wave's just gonna crash to the tower. He'll make it there eventually, but a little bit of a missed call there from LGD. Feels like And you still have Fearness in the top side, now going to be responded to by RA. And the rest of LGD just taking their time here.
As we hop into the replay, we're just going to get this pick. Again, like, it's what you have to do here is JinJiao, right? Like, it becomes very difficult for LGD to try and hold on to this space. Like, maybe he didn't need to push in quite as far. Like, could have just gone for a bit of shadow vision and enough for LGD to kind of rotate back and forth between mid and top. But now, Rare Adam, very much in control of this game.
Absolutely. They got 5,000 gold. Not too shabby.
But also just the map that they have, right? As LGD trying to make a pick to bring it back.
The flash of Fearness, and Strive doesn't have any mana. He will eventually just die. Flashes away there. Nicely done.
No.
But it just buys a little bit of time because RA are doing the Baron.
No, TP for Fearness, though he can still come in with the Call of the Forge God. Now they have vision that they're doing it with the Super Mega Death Rocket going wide. This TP is so late from Fearness, though. It's already gone.
Look at Yuyanjia on the side. He just knows he doesn't need to engage. He just needs to stay there. Solar Flare on the side as well. Cube, it's a split fight. Leyan just goes in, but the Gore Drinker is huge. We'll see if the team fight from front to back can work out. Eric is going to be caught out, and that's doomed for LGD. RA want to push us the distance, and they take the fight.
Eric gets completely caught out in that fight, and it means that Rare Adam are able to win it out despite the fact that they didn't have drive. Now, with Baron, Rare Adam move in to start cracking open the base of LGD.
Tier 2 tower in the mid lane. That red-white working out beautifully for iBoy, but it's the decision-making that we saw from LGD in Game 1 that we're seeing in Game 2 for Rare Adam.
Strive now pushes in top. You've got Q pushing the bot. Although,
things can still go awry. I mean, these are two tanks. I don't know if they got the damage. They're waiting on the Shadow and Eric to make it there, but they actually push RA off of the inhib tower.
Yeah, big mistake from Rare Adam not finishing that off. But watch here, right? Like, Eric just completely gets roasted by Yuyanjia. It sets up beautifully for Leyan to get in here. The Crescent Guard keeps Leyan alive for so long and tries to even flash forward with the wind becomes lightning, but isn't able to do so. And Fearness, because of how late that TP was, isn't able to get into this fight. Like, I honestly, like, this fight could have gone well if Fearness had just TP'd that little bit earlier and got to that fight, because could have had a better setup with the Call of the Forge, got able to hit onto multiple people, would have been able to continue the CC lock of iBoy. Like, I don't know. I like, pushing that wave and bot was not the priority there, Fearness.
And especially, you know, that flash from Yuyanjia to catch out Eric there. It all works out all too well. I will say we have some ornaments coming in here. I believe we have 3 completed now. 1 for Ornn, 1 for Shadow, and 1 for Eric. The Dragon fight is what is next. We have the Dragon Soul for RA if they can secure it, and they do not want LGD to have any part of it. Yuyanjia on the back. JinJiao just gets obliterated by the accelerated shock blast, and that's the go button for RA. They have the sideline from Yuyanjia, but is it enough? They still haven't been able to get Eric just yet, but now they do, and it's all snowballing downhill now. It's all purple, and it's all RA as they take the soul, and now they take the game.
LGD's team fight, and we said at the start, is not that hot, and even with a very simple to execute setup like we see on LGD's side, they still drop the ball. No vision on the flanks. Yuyanjia able to get in onto the back line. I mean, JinJiao just gets burst out. JinJiao gets burst out completely, and then Rare Adam, that's gonna end the game.
Yep, there's no way the JinJiao can stop a 5-man push like this going in. The scaling was not on the side of LGD. The game was on the side of Rare Adam as they do bring us the distance, and I am oh so happy. We tie the series 1-1, and RA show some life.
Rare Adam coming out swinging, and we said that it was going to have to be through this top side. We talked about Cube needing to be the one that set this ball in motion, and with a ton of early pressure coming through from Shadow,